Buenos dias, Anna, and thank you for joining us today at Business Spotlight Series. Today, I am excited to introduce Anna White, owner and founder of scotlandshop.com. A very warm welcome on such a cold day, Anna.
Thank you. Buenos dias.
By the way, I love your jacket. Very
This is what I had made for New York City Tartan Week, the very first time we went. So it's the New York
brilliant.
City Tartan.
So I guess you're very creative. So you design your own clothes, I guess, right? You choose the tartan you want to wear on the day, or?
Oh yeah, well that's what it's all about. Choose your tartan and then we make things up. So yeah, I'm more creative in the probably words and ideas way than I am actually with a needle. But I have lots of talented people in behind me who are talented.
Yes. So what is the choice? How many tartans can you choose from?
Oh, thousands. There are thousands.
Really?
So there's 220 Scottish clans, and so there's all the clan tartans and multiple variations of each. And then on top of that, there's lots and lots of other tartans, regional tartans, district tartans, ones that have been designed, modern ones we've designed.
Yes,
many.
yes.
More every day.
Anna, people are really interested to know when an entrepreneur, launches into the deep end and sets up her business. How that has happened? I mean, how do you come up with the idea? Is this something you wanted to do from childhood when you were at school, daydreaming, what you wanted to do when you grow old? How do you come up with this? Tell us.
No, I don't think so. I think my parents were self-employed, and I'm sure that has an influence because there was always a feeling of they really loved what they did and that it wasn't really a job, but that they just loved what they did. So I think that affects you, but I love business. I've always loved business. I did international business at university with on the kind of marketing side and with French as well. So that's always been of interest. When I left uni, I worked for lots of smaller businesses, which I really enjoyed and I learned lots from. So I don't think I ever thought I'm going to run my own business. But I think actually, if you look at what I did, I naturally was kind of following that path until eventually, well, I married a farmer. He lives in the middle of nowhere. I obviously now live with him. So you need to make yourself a nice job. So that was a lot of my driver, was to create myself a really good job in a rural area where employment opportunities are limited. And I was really keen to create jobs for other people. I never thought I'd just work all on my own. I always pictured having a team. So I'm very much a team person. So yeah, that was a lot of the driver. And in the Scottish borders, we produce loads of amazing textiles. And that I'd done a bit of work in the mills, seen the product, seen some of what went on, and was very inspired by that.
Yeah,
So
brilliant.
the two came together.
So I know you are very creative. You love the textile industry. You are surrounded. The area you come from is very textile based, and you wanted also to help the local economy, right? So that was part of the reason why, kind of.
Yeah, I feel really strongly about this area. When I was 16, all I wanted to do was leave the area. It's a rural area. It's it's difficult for young people here. There's not a lot of different things to do. And so I really wanted to, having come back here, you go away and you go different places and you always then really appreciate where you came from. So having come back here, I then really wanted to make some kind of contribution to my local area. I love this place, and I love the whole of Scotland. So this has been a real platform for me to actually just promote the area generally and promote opportunities within the area, promote it to people around the world who might want to visit, which then again helps the economy. So yeah, it's become a bit of a project, really. So it's a business, but it's also a real passion of mine.
Yes. I mean, it's your dream job, right?
Well, I think so. Some days.
Or at least it was when you started.
It's changed a
Then
lot.
things get complicated when you expand, and cash flow and this, that, and the other, and recruiting people. It's all that's what it takes to run a business. So do you you said that you love business. You had a background in business because when your education. Is that something necessary for people to start a business in your view?
I think you have to love some aspect of it. Because if you don't, I mean, I'm not mad on creating cash flows. You have to do it. You
Yes,
have to do it. So my math skills have expanded into that kind of thing. And I can do all of that, but it's not my favorite thing. So I
correct.
make sure I have someone in the business who's
You,
really
you,
good at
you
that to
recruit
help me.
somebody. Yes,
Um, so no, I don't think you have to. You just have to have one bit that you really are good at and you're passionate about and that you're
yes,
going to drive forward. Because you
yes. I say this because there is a great book you may have read. It's this little book by Michael Gerber, The E-Myth.
No, I
And
haven't read that
it's a
actually.
great book, and it's a lady who sets up a bakery shop, and
Mm.
she loves baking pies and cakes because her grandmother did that. But then she started to recruit people, grow the business, and it got very frustrated in running the business, right? And there are many people who go into business and they have a passion for a product or delivering a service, but then they have to grow the business and it gets complicated. But
Yeah,
yes, yes,
challenges are different, I suppose. At the beginning, it's exciting and it's new and every sale is like, wow, this is. But I think I still feel like that about every sale. I still
mm,
get a real buzz out of
yes,
seeing us do well and seeing members of the team do well and working out strategies to
correct.
do better. So it changes,
Yes.
but it's
So talking about the strategies, you mentioned before the platform. So you started online, purely
Mhm.
online.
Yep,
And then was it in 2017 that you took the bold step of going bricks and mortars?
yeah.
Tell us
And that
about that.
Yeah, well, I suppose that's been a massive learning curve. As much as having two teams, you've got a team in Edinburgh, you've got a team in Duns, and just the dynamic between that. And obviously, we've now added more shops, so we've made it even more complex. But I now realise having everything in one place was very easy and very controllable. Yeah, it was much simpler, but our customers really wanted to touch and feel the product. They kept arriving on our doorstep and we didn't really, our
Yes,
location wasn't appropriate for that. So I mean, the shop was largely open. One, to have a great big advert on the high street is always a good thing and it adds to your credibility and your brand. But really it came from customer demand. They wanted to come and see the product.
yes,
And so, yeah, so we opened the shop. I was really lucky at the time. I had a girl called Emma who'd worked for TK Maxx. So she had lots of kind of retail in-store experience. And as soon as I said, I'm wondering, about opening a shop, and she was straight to the front of the queue. Please, can I be the shop manager? And she'd worked with us for 3 years, so she knew our product inside out. So that was brilliant. That really helped us.
uh-huh.
Yeah, I think we would have struggled to do it without her. And so that worked really well. And yeah, and the shop's evolved, it's changed. When we started, we thought we'd do a lot more local business. We probably do less. The balance is much more tipped in
Yes,
on the tourism side. So
yes,
we've kind of taken our time to discover exactly what our unique
yes.
points are and what makes us special.
Yeah, I can imagine going from online to having a retail shop. The learning curve must be pretty steep.
Mm. Yeah, the product you sell is different. What the customer wants is different. The experience they want is a little bit different. But ultimately, we've always had and always taught staff knowledge about the product, understand the product, where does it come from, how's it made. They can actually see that because we're doing that here.
You bring history into it.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
they're telling stories. We've always got our staff are always either history graduates or textiles graduates or people who have a real passion for Scotland or
Yes.
they've always got a real interest, and you'll spend
Yes.
in the shop an hour with a customer and half the time you'll be telling them where they should go and visit in Scotland. I mean, we are kind of a bit like tour guide to visit Scotland as well.
Yeah.
And but
I
that's
guess,
part of it. It's really nice, you know
yeah,
that.
definitely. I guess the American market will be very keen to know on the historical side of it, right? Particularly because many of them have, Scottish ancestry.
Yes, absolutely. You've got 25 million people in America claiming Scottish,
Big
some
market, Anna,
Scottish
big
heritage. So there's
market.
huge market there. So which is really exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's really nice to be able to help those people make those connections
Yes.
and to make things more meaningful for them. Or if they can't come to Scotland, we can give them their little piece of Scotland.
Yes.
And yeah, we have a lot of fun exploring all the history.
Yes. So talking about the Americans, tell us about, because then I think it was 2022 in March, you took the bold step of putting the Scottish flag across the pond. Yeah, that's a big, very brave move. Tell us about how that happened.
So we've done quite a lot of research. Well, we already have lots and lots of customers in the States. They're about 40% of our customer base. And we've done some pop-up shop and just some testing, some Highland Games and things out in the States, which all went really, really well. We went to Tartan Week for the first time in 2019. So we had a really great reception. And there was just a lot we wanted to do, and we felt that to really serve that market properly, we needed to have a base in the States. Emily, who worked for me, well, still does, she's been with us, 10 years, so she was really keen on it as well. So she was very much my right-hand man on all of that. And yeah, we just did our research and worked out where we wanted to go and decided, yeah, at some point you just have to be brave, because you don't
Yes.
really know. And what we've done out there probably is roughly what we thought we'd do, but we've pivoted a few times. We're about to pivot again.
Yes.
That's what you've got to be prepared to do. If you're going to be brave and just jump into it, you've got
Yes.
to jump into it with your eyes open to, well, this might not run quite like we think it will, but we'll juggle it and change it as we go, and we'll get it right in time.
Yeah, and learn along the way. It's not going to be right first time, but being persistent and tweaking it until you get it right.
You do all the research you want, but until you're actually doing it, you don't really know.
Correct.
But probably most advisors would have said, hang on a minute, are you sure? I'm still glad we did it.
Yeah, yeah. So is it that do you need to go to the US still just to see how things are going?
Yeah, that's all part of the business. So yes, yeah, but we have good staff out there. We have a good team out there. So
Yes.
and that's taken time. That's taken a long time.
Yes.
Um,
And are you planning to expand on the retail side, like more shops in the US or the countries?
well, I'm in a phase just now what I'm calling milk the cow. So we've done an awful lot. We've moved our HQ premises into bigger premises. We've opened we bought the business in Crete last March. And we've redone the back end of our website. So we've done far too much in 1 year. So we're now having a little year.
Just to
2025 is
consolidate,
let's just consolidate.
regroup, have a clarity break.
Yes.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's exactly what we're going to do. So we've got a really great solid structure there. So yeah, we'll see how this year goes. We'll see how 2025 goes, and then
Yeah.
I've
Brilliant.
obviously got a few ideas up my sleeve, but
Yes. Yes. Brilliant. Okay, so can you tell us what has been one of your biggest challenges in building a business?
cash flow.
Cash flow.
Always cash flow in my time. So because I'm so impatient and always trying to push everything along at a faster pace than it probably wants to go. So, last year we did 3 things. We should have probably done one of those things last year, one this year, and one next year. But, sometimes opportunities, like buses, they come along at different, you just have to get on them. So yeah, I think so that has strained our cash flow many times. So just growing. We've always been growing. We've never stopped growing. So that puts a strain on cash flow. Well, it depends how you fund it. I've not taken external investment. I've not done that. I've kind of,
Self-funded, yeah.
yeah, self-funded. So that probably made my life more difficult.
Mm.
Gave me greater control over what we
You
do.
like your autonomy, yeah, and yes,
I don't
yeah,
really like others telling me what to do.
yeah, yes, correct. I can tell
To
that.
be honest. Yeah, so that's been tough. And just I suppose my time and energy, you know, I have poured my whole life into this, and I've missed out probably on some things because I've worked, but at
Yeah,
the same time I've also had some amazing experiences
yes,
through work. So
yes,
you know, and even like my kids came on some of the trips out to Canada and the States, so they came to Tartan Week
yeah,
that first time. You know, so they're
yes,
really lucky, and they've seen how that's a great trip, but how it's also really hard. So
yes,
that's all really good learning. You know, they understand.
yeah. Every cloud has its silver lining, you say, right? Yeah, I mean, building a business has a high price to pay. And yeah, I heard somebody say, I prefer to suffer than to get bored.
Yeah, well,
That analogy is when you're running a business, there is an element of suffering because it's not easy. But I rather have that suffering running a business and building something than being bored and not suffering. So I think that's a great mantra that has helped me, you know,
I'll
more
remember
than once
that.
to keep at it, you know, definitely. Yes, brilliant. So have you read a book that you know has impacted your life, or you say, "Wow," or you would like to recommend to people watching this recording, a book or a
Oh,
podcast?
what have I read? I'm a big reader. I read junk though, just to get myself off to sleep. But no, I did read a book when I first started working with the coach I'm currently with, which was lots of people will have read, and I think it's a bit Marmite, in that some people love the guy and some people don't. And Grant Cardone did the 10 times rule.
Yes.
I think my staff probably roll their eyes because I think maybe I have a slight reputation for being a bit relentless already. So then when I produced my, you know, we could be doing 10 times more, they're like, really, Anna, really? But I love the ethos behind that, which is you can always do more than you think. And you can, and everyone can. And I
Yes.
just, you know, even I just think the title of the book says it all. I don't know if you even have to
Yes.
read it. Just
Yes.
take a look at what you're doing. You can do more.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
I quite like pushing the boundaries. So that's one of my favorites.
Yes. You mentioned the word relentless. I like that word, you know, relentless. You need to be relentless to run a business, to grow a business, definitely. Brilliant. And do you, when you recruit people, are there any particular attributes that you look for in the people you want to work with
Yeah, I would
in
say
the
we
team?
100% recruit on attitude and values. I'm not really bothered what you know, because we can teach you what you need to know if you've got the right attitude. I don't mind if
Definitely.
you've dropped out of school, you know, whatever age, or you've got a master's degree. I'm not really interested in
Yeah, you
that.
can
And
learn
it's
on it.
terrible. I'm
Yeah.
not even really looking at that on the
Yes.
CV. The main thing that I will immediately say will interview them is on the covering letter. Why do they want to work for us? Why does that, what's brought that person to us? So if you
Yes.
can't even be bothered to write a covering letter, then don't bother.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
we expect a level of effort even at that, you know, initial stage. So yeah, very much we want an attitude, a can-do attitude, and
Yes.
someone who's open to learning, someone who
Yes.
has a real passion for Scotland. One of our core values is feisty, and that means not that we want you to be angry, but the feisty in that I'm not going to give up. If I see an opportunity, I'm going to do it. If a customer's got a problem, I'm going to work to the end to resolve that for them. I'm going to
Yes.
fight for what we believe in as a company.
Yeah. Brilliant.
And one of our other values is community. So that applies very much to our staff, our team. We're really into team. I've always been into that, and building really strong teams and strong bonds between our team members. But
Yes.
also, what else do we do within, we work with communities all around the world. So all of our
Yes.
customers are part of amazing communities, and we
Yes.
work really closely with all those communities. So
Brilliant.
that's what we look for.
Yeah. I mean, attitude and values shape the culture of the business. And was it Peter Drucker who said, culture is strategy for breakfast?
Mm.
So culture is so important. You cannot achieve a great vision without a great team, right?
No, oh
Yeah.
no, you can't, and that's the nice thing. Staff are hard work, and it's
Yeah.
not easy. Recruiting is harder than ever,
Mm.
but when you get the right people, it's just right.
Yes.
And when you get them, when you get people who come in and you can give them an opportunity they've not had elsewhere, I
Yes.
do really like doing that. That's what
Yes.
gives me a real buzz.
Yes. Everybody I talk on, 99% of the entrepreneurs I talk to, they say the same thing. They find recruitment very hard, finding talent and retaining talent in today's market. What, in your view, when did that start to happen? Was it like a post-COVID? We came back from COVID and it was like a bit of a different, playing field here. I don't know. What's your view on this? Because it's a lot tougher than it used to be, certainly.
It is, and I think, I don't know, I've got people who were with me pre-COVID who are not with me any longer, who probably reassessed their lives and, I don't know, decided they wanted something different, or they wanted to, do different things. I don't know. I just think people are unsettled. I think that's my main thing. I feel like people are quite unsettled. So they're constantly kind of, oh, is this the right thing for me? Or should I be
Yes,
looking over there? Or the grass is a bit greener over there. And they're forgetting the importance of culture and team, and actually, if you're in a good place with good
yes,
people, we can create, you can,
yes,
you're gonna make your own path.
yes.
But
And also perspective of the long term. You said to build a path. It's not a short term thing. It's long term. If you want to build your
yeah,
career, I'm going to work for this company for a number of years and so on and so forth.
but
Rather
people,
than,
I don't know. I think that's shifted. I don't know if I've got people, Oren has been with me since he was 16. He's now, what, 26, 27. Emily's been with me 10 years. Kate's been with me. I've got a lot of people been here a long time. Um, and they have just created their own jobs, and
yes,
I think that's the beauty of little companies. And I think you have to get into the company and learn lots. Be prepared to come in and learn lots,
yeah,
and then those opportunities start to come. And I think sometimes people aren't necessarily prepared to put that
yes,
first year or two in to get into that position.
yes. I talk to a lot of business people who say, oh, it's so hard to motivate the team. And I always think you cannot motivate people. You recruit motivated people. You cannot recruit somebody who is unmotivated and then expect, oh, I'm going to motivate that person. You have to recruit motivated people, That's my view on this. It's impossible to motivate people from the outside. It comes from the inside, I think.
Well, I think you do need, even motivated people can very quickly become unmotivated if they don't have
You
a
can
real
demotivate, yeah.
vision.
If there's the environment and whatever, you can demotivate people, yeah, certainly.
I think that clarity of what are we trying to do here and where are we going, and that's, yeah, I think as we've grown, I've maybe had I've definitely had periods where I've not done that well enough, and I
Yes,
think I'm quite. That's what we're trying really hard. Just so, does everyone in this company understand what we are trying to do here?
yes. That brings us to the vision component, the vision of the business. which I think when you recruit people that connect to your vision and therefore they are engaged, and if they have the same values as you do, they're engaged. And there is a story, well-known story of this journalist that went to NASA, the NASA offices, and he saw a janitor sweeping the floor, and the journalist asked the janitor, "What are you doing?" And he said, as he was mopping the floor, "Can you not see? I'm helping to put a man in the moon." I said, well, that's connecting with the vision. There were 400,000 people involved in that project of putting a man on the moon and bringing him back. And there you have the janitor connected to the vision. He was motivated. It was a motivating vision. So a lot to be said for that.
I'll try and do that. When I was doing my bins this morning, I was thinking.
Lillian, that was wonderful. Well, Anna, one final question from me. If you could choose a day in the life of, who would you choose? You know, who is either living or from the past?
Oh, goodness. I'm not really one for kind of role models and a day in the life. A day,
It doesn't have
well,
to be somebody important or VIP.
I think this probably goes back to my relentless thing. I think I'd like to be a Kenyan marathon runner for a day. One, to have the feeling of how they can run, but to understand that drive and that focus
and relentless,
yeah.
being relentless, running the marathon.
Yeah.
It's like building a business. It's a long haul, you know, it's a long
I'm
journey.
also intrigued by how they achieve that level and how what goes into achieving that, and so on. A broken down, I suppose, taking that great big goal of I want to be the world's fastest marathon runner, how do you break that down into those little bites that mean you actually achieve that?
Yes. There are transferring skills on you know, analogies, sports and business, you know, transferable skills there. Definitely, yeah. Very, very interesting, Anna. Well, it's been wonderful to have you on board with us today and for sharing your experience and wisdom with us. And well, I'll follow up your company. I see the next level of expansion. 2025 is going to be consolidate, think, you know, clarity break. Where are we going next? You know, I look forward to that.
So if you see me opening a shop, you know I've veered right off path.
Definitely. Brilliant. Well, thank you very much. And see you soon, Anna. Thank you.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you.